Man, the other day I was talking to a guy and I asked him how he was doing. He looked at me and said, "Brandon, I'm doing better than I deserve." Which really got me thinking about those moments in my life that if anything would have went different, then everything would have been. Yeah, man, just a product of grace, homeboy, I'm just a product of grace.
He walked in, ready to go, and he was wearing a red shirt that said Echo. My boy was yelling and screaming throughout the building. My heart started racing, I'll never forget the feeling. Yeah, and I thought he was a villain, I thought that he wasn't chilling. So I hid behind that counter kneeling. And what if he starts swinging? And what if stuff start flinging? And what if I'm still kneeling behind this counter, bruh? Nah, man, I got right up as I heard the cashier call 911. And I ran straight to the back and I went right to the door. And I went up to the desk into the second row because I knew it was there, knew it was loaded. My heart beat like a snare with my adrenaline bloated. And I grabbed that gun because I knew I could tote it. And I ran back to the front with my common sense, he wrote it. Back to the front and I looked outside and I saw he and my guys standing eye to eye. Time stood still, gun in my pocket, the situation diffused. And I didn't even cock it, but I was 12 years old. 12 years old, this close to my front door being made of poles. I mean, a slip of my finger would have been my final frontier. And I'd have never ever been here. Fast forward down the road 2 years later, everybody baggy jeans at knees and skaters. Long before T-Swift made meals on haters. And I'm sitting in the back with procrastinators. Every hoop dream went through the Florida Gators. My goal was popularity with no agitator. And I'm learning how to cuss and fight, cause I'm a grade A top line imitator. So I grab on whatever is near. I took 14 suspensions the next 3 years. I mean, anything to get the praise and claim of my peers. But truth be told, I'm asking up my fears. Fears of approval, rejection, removal, detection, little real connection, lack of direction. And I was faking and fronting and I gave up on perfection. And I deny reality so I can live in my reflection. But that mirror goes on and on. A year later, flipped the switch, turned on my charm. I said, don't ring the alarm, you don't mean no harm. Just trying to get that fine chick on your arm. And for high school, we was like a poster. Athlete and cheerleader, had that image on lock like we was poster. But that's almost all that mattered to me. A preconceived notion of what I supposed to be. Ron Burgundy said it best, that escalated quickly. Too young to be in love, my chin wasn't even prickly. But one night I leaned in to kiss her, made my way a little closer just so she could hear me whisper, how about one more step? Knowing full well it'll be something we regret. And I could never prepare for what happened next. As my cold sweat heart was beating out my chest. And as the word no rang through both my ears, all of a sudden things seemed to be much more clear. It felt like my brain and my heart exploded. Every emotion I had ever felt was seemingly unloaded. But I played a cool costume, swept it under push broom, switching gears, vroom vroom, my computing newsroom. Be right back, no doom, no gloom, just gotta go to the restroom. But I was lying and I walked right past it. Hallway out the front door, underneath the light moon, walking grass tips. I can still see it, the night was littered with stars. And my last 4 years have been littered with scars. So I look up at the beauty and I peer within. I was the only one who really knew where I had been, trying to find a button that says start again. I dribble out, cross them over, call me Iverson. But that's what I always do. Flex, pull, tug the straps of my own boot. Inside heart hurting, outside real cute. All my efforts stacked up was still minute. So I cried out, God, can you hear me? Can you really love someone like me? Someone who says this and looks at that. Someone who's tiptoeing the line between been there, done that. Don't know who I am and I don't know who I could be. Don't know if you can and I don't know who I should be. But if you're really grace in the midst of sin, and that means mercy every morning, means it never ends. The way you take me, break me, shake me, and remake me with the sword of your love that proves you never forsake me. That you never leave and never let me go. That my sin-colored heart could be white as snow, and the weight lifted off me without a trace. I took the first deep breath of my last 4 years. Grace and peace squeezed me in embrace as I was fighting back the tears. And I can still see it, the night was littered with stars. And my heart still got some of those scars. But I remember the night that I finally saw your face. And my identity now is just a product of grace.